Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me, Avenella Griffith, in my run-up as an independent island-wide candidate in the next general elections coming up, God's willing. This is the second in a series of lives that I'm doing throughout each district in Anguilla, and we have 7 of these districts. The purpose of the series is threefold. Firstly, it is around this Christmas time to share the gifts, some of the gifts that each district holds. Secondly, I want to share some of Avenella for Anguilla's platform. And thirdly, I want to speak to any national issue which may be current at the time. Right now, today, I would just like to briefly address and combine the budget address and also decriminalization. The first live was a couple days ago in District 5 in the tribe village of North Hill, South Hill, and Sandy Ground. That was chosen because Sandy Ground is my first home. And now we are here in District 6, my second home. District 6 is mainly made up of two of the bigger villages is South Hill and Blowing Point. And so Blowing Point being my home that I came to after Sandy Ground is one of the places that I treasure a lot. And specifically in terms of treasuring this beach here, Sandy Point in Blowing Point, just below the ferry. Sandy Point was the place to be as a child, as a youngster. And all of us Blowing Point children know that whenever there was a spare moment, Sandy Point was it. Right behind me, there used to be something called a spit. A spit, geographically speaking, it's a geographical feature, is a long piece of land jutting out, skinny piece of land jutting out into the sea. And it was the only spit that Anguilla had. And so this spit used to jut all the way out to the rocks, and we could walk very easily on it and go out, pick wilts, fish, swim, you know, just do everything that children shouldn't be doing by themselves on the sea rocks. The spit was a beautiful place. It was where we hung out. It was a place where we had activities because, of course, there were no electronic gadgets, and we made up for it here. It was beautiful. However, in 1995, Hurricane Lewis came through. I believe it was in September, and it destroyed the spit. Sandy Point was never the same since Lewis. And when we came down the first day, I remember coming down to Sandy Point after Lewis and seeing the destruction, it was heartbreaking. And then looking out and seeing something similar to this, but worse, where the spit was totally cut off, totally drowned, totally gone. Anguilla was spitless. It was sad, a very sad day, and it still breaks our heart. However, in speaking about sadness, we had the Honorable Premier, Dr. Ellis Webster, presenting the budget address early in the week, and there were also some very sad moments in that address. And so I'm not misquoting anybody. I'm just going to read a very sad comment that I believe speaks to the fact that we need to live by truth and rights in Anguilla as our mission. And around the 37th or so minute, our Honorable Premier had these words to say. He was comparing 2020's 1 day of liquid assets savings to 2024's 332 days. And the Honorable Premier, who is a medical doctor, he said in relation and referring to those who differed with his views on the soundness, the financial stability of the country, he said these words. He said, if that does not represent fiscal prudence and responsible use of the public purse, then I don't know what you guys been smoking. He went on to say, but I think decriminalization is coming. So in these statements, we have our Honorable Premier, again, who is a medical doctor, eluding, and more than eluding, but saying that there is proof that marijuana is not healthy. There is proof that marijuana makes people think stupid, because he's saying anybody that disagrees with the fact that Anguilla is in a better place now than it was in 2020, 332 days of savings versus, and I'm not going to call it reserves, because the use of the word reserves in the context usually is really is misleading. Reserves, especially specific reserves, are not dealt with and are not given by the APM, by the Ministry of the Honorable Premier. And what he had to say was that 332 days versus 1 day is what everybody should be believing as a good financial sound place. And he said anybody who doesn't must be smoking something. And he alluded to the decriminalization of marijuana as if they're smoking marijuana. Well, if marijuana makes us think stupid, and if marijuana doesn't make us think right, my question is, why then is this government administration decriminalizing something that especially is targeted to our young adults? Why? Why are we giving our young adults something that's going to cause them to think stupid, to think wrong, and not to think straight? And again, he is our premier. He is a medical doctor. And if this is the support our young people are going to get from our government, who should be leading our people right and leading our young people with good models, I think then that something again is wrong. We need a mission, Anguilla. A mission, for me, something that says to live by truth and right. We have no vision and we have no mission. And the Avenella for Anguilla platform says we need a vision and we need a mission. It is time that we get one. To live by truth and right means then that something like the decriminalization of marijuana would not have passed, because it would not have measured up to the standard. It is not true that marijuana is not harmful. And the premier and all his cabinets know that it's harmful, because he himself said that people who disagree with his views on the fiscal stability of our country must be smoking something. But don't worry, you can smoke it now because it's decriminalized. So you can smoke it and continue to be stupid. Is that what he's saying? Continue to think differently, but you're not going to go to jail for it. At least 10 grams at a time is okay. I'm saying that's not okay. Not from a medical doctor, not from a premier who is running our country. And so Avenella for Anguilla says that living by truth and right is not what this current administration has been reflecting, especially to our youth. And so I want to encourage all of us, again, in this second live, to meet our representatives, meet those who are going for campaigning, and ask them, shouldn't we have a vision? Shouldn't we have a mission? In particular, there is one company in Anguilla right now that leases a lot of land on Mondays Bay from us, the people of Anguilla, to the government. And that lease in particular has a length or lifespan of over 100 years. And my question to us, Anguilla, is, if international companies, multinational, multi-billion-dollar companies are so smart are so advanced, are so full of vision that they can come to our land, our shores, our beaches like these and enjoy sunsets like these. If they can come with the idea that we want to capitalize, because companies' main goal is to just maximize profits. And they want to maximize profits for the next over 100 years. I may be wrong, but it could be around 200 years the lease was for of the land at Cap Jolicoeur. And that land, they're going to capitalize for at least a century. And we are having companies come here and do that. And our government cannot have a plan for 100 years. I think we are falling short. And then the premier, in the words of the premier, is it true that we are smoking something if we can't see that we are getting used by companies making billions out of us over the next 100 years? And we don't have a vision for the next 100 years, for the next 200 years? And so part of Anguilla, Avenella for Anguilla's platform is to urge us, to put some fire under us, to say we need a national vision. Avenella for Anguilla says to be a tranquil nation should be our vision, and for a mission to live by truth and right, tagged up with our, triple teamed up, it will be with our motto, strength and endurance. So today, from the beautiful Sandy Point Beach in Blowing Point, I want to say thank you for joining me. And next week, God's willing, we will have a couple more lives in another district, maybe your district this time. So thank you for joining me, and I pray that you have a fantastic week and a great Christmas season. Thank you. Vote for Avenella for Anguilla in the next upcoming elections.